Hello and welcome. Aviation charts might look really complicated at first, all those lines, numbers and symbols, but in this video I'll break it down step by step so it actually makes sense. By the end of this video you'll understand the basics. I hope you'll enjoy the video. Now sit back, relax. Thank you very much. To find charts, you just need to type in your airport ICAO and the word charts next to it. Very easy. So in our case we're gonna type in LIPA and then we're gonna type in charts. And what you wanna do then is open your first tab. The other way is if you have a Navigraph subscription where all the charts are included and provided. They're really easy to use and understand in Navigraph rather than in Google. There we are. On the first couple of pages we have some information about the airport, which we can see here. As we go down we will find arrival charts called STAR. STAR abbreviation is Standard Terminal Arrival. Gonna go a little bit down. That's our departure charts called SID. The abbreviation of SID is Standard Instrument Departures. Go down a little bit and we get some airport charts, some gates, and after we get some approaches like ILS, RNP, OVO. Any information this hope you don't need because it's useless for sims, but it is really important in real life procedures. There we are. Today we're gonna talk about announced SID. So it's departure. At the top we can see airport ICAO, LIPA, Palma de Mallorca. We've got airport elevation, not the runway elevation, airport elevation measured in feet. We've got transition altitude, which is 6,000 feet. So you might ask, what does transition altitude even mean? So that's the altitude where you need to change your pressure from the local one to the standard. Local is airport pressure to standard after you pass 6,000 feet. Okay, let's go a little bit down. So that's all the schemes for the departure from runway 06 left or right to northwest. Speed is 250 knots until leaving flight level 100. So basically your speed cannot be more than 250 knots until you passed 10,000 feet flight level 100. Today I think we'll be covering drug 1 bar. Okay, there we are. So at the bottom we've got airport war. Frequency of that is 117.7. So this is war point, so the frequency of this war point is 117.7. So normally on Boeing 737 you're gonna put this in your ILS navigational panel. This is for you to see how far are you away from this waypoint measured in nautical miles. So let's see. So after we took off from that's I think runway 006 left. So when we take off, we're gonna fly direction 062. Then when we're gonna be 5 nautical miles away from this waypoint, we're gonna make a U-turn to direction 293. And when we're gonna do this turn, our speed shouldn't be more than 210 knots. So we're gonna make a U-turn to the point Incas. Then we're gonna go direction 293 to the waypoint Pinto, and then we choose drag 1 November, so we can see Drago 1 November. So we're gonna continue flying direction 293 to the point Drago. It's really easy, nothing complicated here. Let's go down. So these SIDs require a minimum climb gradient of 365 per nautical miles, which is 6%. So basically when you take off, your nose should be up by 6%. So for example, if my takeoff speed was 200 knots, I would be climbing 1200 feet a minute. So initial ATC clearance maintains 6,000 feet. So basically when you take off somewhere here and on point Pinto until Drago, you have to be 6,000 feet. Or for example, when you fly any points in this SID, you have to be 6,000 feet. And after point Drago, for example, I will climb to my cruise altitude. This is basically repeating the information above. I think we covered everything here, so let's go and talk about our star. There we are, that's our star. We've got ATIS, which it tells us the weather conditions, winds, dew points, temperature in the airport, our airport elevation. Transition level. Now we're gonna talk about transition level. Transition level is the altitude where you have to swap your pressure from standard to the local one, to the airport one. When it says by ATC, it's basically telling you that the ATC will tell you the altitude or the level when you have to swap. The really important information, if you're flying with an ATC, before your transition altitude 6,000, you say climbing 6,000 feet. After you swapped your local pressure to the standard, you want to say levels, so climbing flat level 100, etc. Okay, let's see at the speed restrictions. So maximum speed is 250 knots at position, reduced to 210 knots. What this is saying is we have to be 210 knots when we're gonna reach 12 nautical miles from the airport's wall, which is Mallorca 117.7, and then reduce to 160 knots when we're gonna be 5 nautical miles away from this wall. So let's say I picked Ibiza 1 Mike, which leads us to runways 06 left and right. Or you can choose Ibiza 1 Papa, which leads to runways 24 left and right arrivals from south and southwest. I'm gonna pick Ibiza 1 Mike, which reads as Isa 1 Mike. So there we are, that's our Ibiza point. I forgot how to call it. So after the Ibiza point, we're gonna go direction 88 more, or at 4,000 feet. Then we're gonna make a left turn to heading 053. So now you see this Delta 30 Mike Juliet Victor. So after this turn, you wanna switch your board to Palma de Mallorca, which is 113.3. Mike Juliet Victor. So so does that mean the 30 mgv basically means the speed restriction comes in when you're 30 nautical miles away from this waypoint. I'll try to include this to show how it works on Boeing 737, so you're not gonna get stuck. At the top you can see runways 06 left and right, so that's ours. So our speed restrictions come in here for the runway 06 left and right. If you fly to runways 24 left and right, speed restrictions come right here. So after the speed restriction, we're gonna go point Sabas, where we can be put on hold. So we will make loops at 4,000 feet or above 10,000 feet if we have to wait for the airport if it's busy. If not, we'll continue flying direction 53 degrees into the war Palma de Mallorca 113.3. So after this point, your ATC controls your heading, your altitude, and your speed. So for example, after this waypoint, you might say turn direction 362 or something. I don't know. I'm just saying random stuff. We got some holding, so we will see this in a minute. Runway 06 left and right, we'll see that in a minute. This holding for runway 06 left and right is right here near the wall. There we are. We've got ILS runway 06 left chart. Let's start reading information at the top. We got ATIS 119.25, the weather. We've got ATC frequency. At the top we got log Palma de Mallorca, which is 110.9. So you have to put that in your ILS navigational display, where you have to put your VOR frequency. I would like to do that this way. So I'm gonna put my localizer on my side, and I'm gonna put my VOR frequency on first officer side, so right side, because this makes things easier to do. Final approach course is direction 059, so you gotta turn the little wheel with the yellow sign on 737 to your heading 059. Glide slope. So basically what this means is we have to be 1700 feet at some point to capture our glide slope and start and descending. ILS, DA and brackets H refer to minimums. That's our minimum altitude. If we have low visibility or something happened, like plane entered the runway, it will count as missed approach and we will have to do a go around. Runway elevation is 15 feet. Let's see at missed approach. So if something happened after or before our minimums, climb via jaw of war on direction 059. So does that mean is you're gonna climb via this war at the direction 059, and you're gonna maintain 2000 feet until you're gonna reach 50 nautical miles away from this war point. After you've got 50 nautical miles, you're gonna continue You're going to continue flying direction 059. And then you're going to turn right heading 280 to this wall Kappa de Pera, which is displayed here. And then you're gonna climb 3,000 feet and you're gonna join this hold for the airport to decide what are the next steps. So let's see at the main chart now. So there we are, that's our Palma de Mallorca Miji V. We can be put on hold here, as I said on the last chart, which was star. So if not, we're gonna make a loop. We're gonna go here. We have to be 1900 feet on direction 262. So after you're 8 nautical miles away from this wall, you're gonna make a turn to direction 059. And your max speed is 220 knots. So after, you're gonna face direction 059 to your main runway. And then you're gonna catch your localizer and then your glide slope. Let's head down a little bit. This is the same information displayed here, but in 2D format. So you have to be 1900 feet. We're gonna descend to flight level 17. What am I saying? We're gonna descend to 1700 feet facing direction 059. Then when we are 5 nautical miles away from this wall, or not this wall, this wall, it's right here, this wall, PLM, we're gonna catch our glide slope and our localizer, and we will start a slow descent to the runway. Let's talk about our minimums. So DA or H. DA stands for barometer, I think, and H star stands for radio. So category for 737 or Airbus A320 is category C. So we're gonna put 2 to 5, which are our minimums. So you see a little text at the top, Mr. Approach climb created minimum 3%. So basically what does that mean is, if you have missed approach, you have to climb 2,000 feet with, for example, 1,000 feet a minute or so. If you have your localizer but you don't have your glide slope, your minimums are 390. That's for safety. If you have no glide slope, you can see it here. For example, if my approach speed was 140 knots, I would be descending at 800 feet per minute. We're gonna head to airport chart. That's the airport chart. So it tells you runways, direction of runways, length measured in feet and length measured in meters. So 3 kilometers here and 3 kilometers here. We got told our ground ATC at the frequency 121.7. We've got some taxiways which are called Bravo, Alpha, Charlie, Delta, and those holding points. So for example, you're standing somewhere here and your ATC tells you taxi runway 06 left via Delta and Alpha, and your holding point is November 6. So you're gonna go here, Delta, Charlie's here, and November 6. And you're gonna take off. There's no important information here, so we'll go down. So those charts are like more detailed. They're telling you more taxiways and gate numbers, terminals, and control tower as well. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope you learned something useful. Thank you very much and see you in my next video.